It's live. It's the first Premier League preview of the season. Let's get into it. All right, hello and welcome to the Matchday Vlogs channel. We're here this evening to talk about our upcoming game back in the Premier League against Newcastle United this weekend. We'll be looking ahead to everything that's going on in the build-up to the game. There's also plenty of content to come in regards to opposition previews, and I'm even going on a channel tomorrow night as well, which I'll tell you all about later on. We'll also be having a look back at the fan forum and getting your views on what you thought about the fans forum, what you thought about the panelists, and what we can actually take from it. And we'll be asking the ultimate question: is this team good enough to survive in the Premier League? All this and plenty more to be discussed. This is our first opportunity to actually discuss, so we're going to have plenty to talk about. I've been a bit thrown off because something's popped up in the corner, and I don't think we're live on Twitter. So anyone's watching on Twitter, well, you're not. But if you're waiting for it, if anyone knows anyone that's waiting on, you get the idea. We're not running on Twitter tonight. Apparently, it's just like that. Of course, I'm always joined, as always, by Mr. Jack. How are we doing, Jack?
All right.
Doing well?
Yeah, mate, it feels good. It feels like an awful long time since we've done this, doesn't it? It feels like an awful long time.
It does indeed.
Especially Premier League. It feels really long since
Yeah.
we've said that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A little birdie tells me it was your birthday. Actually, I know it was your birthday recently. So very, very happy birthday for that. Did you manage to sober up soon after, or?
The actual Sunday itself, the day of my birthday, it was very much, I'm just going to stay vertical for a lot of this, otherwise my brain will fall out of my ears. So it's a bit of that. Very stiff. I played a gig the night before, so it was a fun birthday, fun time seeing everybody. Sort of a lot of people I haven't seen in a while, and it was a real good time. Should have come, pal. Should have come on down. Where were you?
Should have done. Where's my invite? No, it's fine.
It was a public gig.
Was it?
Everyone could attend it.
Just to send it to my other phone. Anyway, we digress. We digress. Welcome to everyone who's joining us live in the chat section. A special welcome to all the members of the channel as well. Thank you so much for your support. It really, really does make a difference. So thank you so much for that. Let us know how you're feeling ahead of Saturday's game. Let us know if you're travelling up. Jack and I will be... So I said it probably a Jack and I, because I get in trouble when I say me and Jack, because apparently that's a childish way.
Who told you off for that? That's the way it should go.
You know who.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, you know exactly.
It's what it is, pal. It's what it is.
It is. It's another one that she loves.
There you are.
Yeah, we can't all be blessed with going to school, sweetheart. So yeah, let's stick with that. Jack and I will be heading up to Newcastle. We're going early, people. We are going early to soak up as much as possible. We're going to be going up on early Friday morning, hopefully meeting up with some Newcastle channels as well en route to bring as much coverage as we possibly can, because we are pumped for this one.
Oh, yeah.
Let us know where you're watching the show from. Nothing too specific. That will be weird. We've got nothing to look back on, so we can just focus our energy on looking forward now, can't we?
Yeah, it's great. We're in that fun part of the season where there are a lot of unknowns. We can all be scared about things. We can also be excited about things, but there's nothing. We don't know anything really until 5 o'clock Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. We shall certainly wait and see. I did actually shoot an opposition preview earlier today, so that's in the process of being edited. So that will likely go out some point tomorrow evening. But I had a great
people
chat
edit previews. Christ.
Yeah, I know. I thought
Let it roll. Let it roll.
Add some things. I'm not sure people would be ready for us to go live at that particular hour that was shot, but it's a good one. So look out for that. Catching up with Pete Davey from Loaded Mag NUFC, which will also be going live on their channel tomorrow night. So if you fancy being in the away section, that would be fantastic. The ticket prices are capped at £0 and 0 pence. So this ain't no Leeds United away. This is actually good value for money. And if if 3 ain't failing for me, then I'm really failing miserably. That is the most specific location I think we've ever had. I feel bad actually popping that up.
Yeah, probably don't do that.
Yeah, sorry about that. Didn't do that. Here we go. We've got a Jordan session. Lads, go to Newcastle on Friday, but away supporters are not allowed on game day. Casual clubs required on non-match days. Yeah, we've seen all about this. So yeah, is it called the Stack? I understand it's called the Stack. Yeah, amazing. How many of each rewatched the playoff final highlights? I'm clinging on the last bits of the buzz. Yeah, this season will be very, very different. A lot in answer to your question. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
I don't know if I've watched the highlights, but I feel like I've watched the vlog quite a few times.
That was a fun vlog.
I feel like I've watched us watching the game a bit more than I've watched the replays of the game because I was there. I remember what happened, and no TV angle is going to improve that. But watching everyone around us going absolutely ape was kind of what it was about, really.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
For us, we earned that.
Yes.
Not us. I mean, us as a collective, the Southampton community. We earned it, not specifically me and Mike, although we did.
Indeed. Right, I'm going to have a quick look back. There is something we can look back on. I've just reminded myself, and that is, of course, something that happened on Monday evening in front of a live audience and in front of the BBC Radio Solent audience listening live online at the Saints Fan Forum. Now, this was had a mixed response, didn't it? And I think there were a few people, mainly on Twitter, displeased at some of the questions that were being asked. I did do a slight recap video of what happened. So if you don't want to watch the entire hour of the broadcast, I feel like I've done my best to summarize it. There were a couple of points that I've missed out, but ultimately, pretty much most of it was being covered. But these fan forums, ultimately, there's only a certain amount that the club can say. Is that fair, Jack, in regards to how much they can share?
It's what I don't know what people really expect from these sort of things. I'm not going to make any announcements, really. It's more we can answer sort of logistical questions and we can answer little bits and bobs, and you can get a good feel of a bit of the vibe, really. I mean, I think this year's fan forum was a lot tamer than other years. Mm-hmm. But I think because the club is in a bit of goodwill right now, fans that are going to the club aren't there to complain or really kick off. I mean, you compare the way they asked the goalkeeper question this year to last year, very different styles of asking it, and you kind of got pretty similar answers from it. And Russ is never going to be like, yeah, you're right, Alex has dropped clangers this all summer. He's on his way out. But I think you all know that the club are looking at goalkeepers, so let's not to people who complain on Twitter about the questions. You can go. It's very easy to go to the fan forum, and even if you can't attend it, you probably will know somebody who's going who can ask the question for you if you really want a certain question answered. But otherwise, don't complain that the questions weren't well asked, or complain that Adam Blackmore's rephrasing them to fit what he wants. He's running a radio show. Nobody wants to hear. Not like people want it rephrased and questioned properly. Like there are people on the panel that can have those questions. They need to be rephrased slightly from how us norms will ask those questions. So, it is what it is. The fan forums. I mean, we've had fun with going there. It was really fun the year we went. It was rowdy. Mm-hmm. People boomed St. Rob. It was great. Dead funny. And also, I don't know. I did end up watching quite a lot of it. Did you see like Rob stare straight at the camera during that one little bit? There was a bit where the camera's on Rob. He just
eyeballed it.
Proper crack.
Hello.
Really so it was to paraphrase your wife, it is what it is. And you weren't going to get much out of it. But I feel like a lot of the fallout after it, there's especially today's quotes from Russell. We learnt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's said some stuff today where you're like, okay, well, there's probably a reason you couldn't say that or that at the fan forum because he probably would have been booed and people would have had a bit more questions. But I don't know what people expect from it.
So I don't know why. No one asked, but I think they were just brave enough to ask about the goalkeeping position. So I think this one probably would have been a step too far. Just on the note of how Adam Blackmore handled the fan forum, I think it's incredibly tough, and I draw mention to this on the video I did. when you're trying to run a show, ultimately your head's doing this, and especially when it's live, and especially when you don't know what questions are going to come in, much in a way, in a minute scale to what this show is like, because I don't know what's going to go in that chat section, and we kind of like spin off it. But when you have an audience of that many people listening live on the radio, it can just it'd just be so difficult to do. But I almost think this might be a radical idea. It shouldn't be live on the radio.
You're not wrong.
That might sound like a bit of a mad thing to do. I don't think it should be live on the radio, and I think it should actually be longer. But ultimately, we should be, in a way, thankful that the club are putting it on in the first place. But I actually think that it might be beneficial to maybe don't have it live on the radio, that then the reins are a little bit freer to get those discussion points. Ultimately, you're still going to want to have a broadcast piece going on the Southampton YouTube channel that would still give the kind of information and not be overly dull and going over the same topics over and over. But I do think that hour window, I mean, maybe it can still be live, but actually it's on for a lot longer on a sister channel of BBC Radio Solent that isn't quite so demanding on time. I don't know. Yeah. I'm brainstorming now.
There are ways around it, there are things that could be done to it, and that change, even if it's behind like a Southampton paywall. So you have to it's a few extra.
Oh, don't bring that up! Oh my goodness!
No, listen. If
it's longer,
does it is amazing,
and you got to pay for it.
But I mean, the live stream, you should pay for the live stream and then make it available the next day, just so you can cover a few little costs upon the night. Whatever. Okay. But it's just like not a lot of clubs get that anyway. Regardless, so and imagine how awful like a top 6 fan forum would be, and what the answers you would get there. They'd be way worse than the ones we get. You would never would you think Ten Hag would do a fans forum? I know we've been out the Prem for a bit, bud, but it seems pretty much the same.
Do you remember that the West Ham one? Was it West Ham one where Harry Redknapp was talking about Frank Lampard, and the fan was like, going, I don't rate this player. Why have you invested so much time? He will go right to the very top. Didn't get really that many quotes from our ones, but I don't think that one was broadcast live on the radio. But anyway, sorry, I interjected there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's those clips from the chant that the clubs can pull from the vaults, because it is all club content after all. So. Yeah, it's, for me, like, the fan forum is always just a fun thing at the beginning of the year. They shouldn't be taken too seriously. They shouldn't be taken like you're going to get all the answers that you've ever wanted about the club. So take it as what it is. We had a lot of good stuff from Phil Parsons about the surrounding that. To be fair, that's what you tend to get more out of these fan forums, is like, right, what's going on at the clubs. I think, you rightly so. You're upset about the 10%. It is sort of like,
I don't understand that.
A bit stupid, but someone who always forgot that it was there anyway.
Yeah, but I understand why it was done. When I say I don't understand, I understand why it was done, because the club will know that people will want to buy the kit as soon as possible, and actually adding 10% extra to, let's say hypothetically 10,000 extra shirts, kind of a bit of a difference there, isn't there? So, but
one thing we're learning pretty quickly this summer is that money's tight. And we have to be really, strict about how we do things, and how we go about ourselves this Premier League season. I'm sure we're going to get onto what we think about the season in a minute, and how actually scary it is. Now we're getting close to it, but one of those things are like, the club's kind of being run smartly. I don't think any of us are like, oh my god, they're overspending, they're going to do this, we're going to be in trouble. I think they're so hyper aware of that they're going to make this sort of decision. Is it great? No, but are we going to have this a whole new fan zone? Is it going to be the stadium's going to look a bit nicer? They've done things, they've moved the away end. Like, they've done a lot of things that we've all been crying out for so many years, whether people now it's actually happening, enjoy that or not. But here we are.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And just regards to FFP, just imagine how bad we'd be if it wasn't the case of, like, we didn't sell Lavia for 60 million, Prowse for 30 or whatever it was, and Tino for so much. I mean, the fact that we're this close to the line with all that happened, I mean, one, it highlights how bad a mistake Tall, Paul and Sulemana ultimately were. But also,
you're forgetting Orisic.
Oh yeah, I am actually. But it wasn't, I mean, that was 11, I mean, it's still 11 million quid, isn't it? So it's a difference between us potentially getting certain players in over the line as it stands at the moment. So, but yeah, things are tight. But I think you're right. You know, in terms of the custodians of the club at the moment, they could be a lot worse.
Yeah,
Could be a lot worse.
could be a lot worse.
What gleaming review that is.
Listen, man. We're not to name drop once again, but when we were at that certain night, we spoke to one of the owners, and Henrik. They all sounded like businessmen. They all sounded like they knew what they were doing. But when you just really look about the outside and everything that's going on around the club, they are doing really great things with it.
Yeah.
And now translating that to a football pitch is difficult, especially about what we're about to do. But that is the game that we're playing, unfortunately. But I just think the all round feel of Southampton. I do like Sports Republic. It's just, let's see where we are into this transfer window, because we know they're going to. We know that they spend, because look how poorly they spent previously. So we just got to see what happens. There's a few weeks left yet.
Yeah,
we'll see.
There is time. I reckon we should buy back RC back for 15 mil.
No, you don't.
That? No, that's a silly idea. That would that would be an unpopular one. There's a question here from Andy, and he's a member, so I'm definitely going to answer his question. Chaps, random one. What's your take on the new stadium layout? I'm hopefully going to be able to get some time next week to have a closer look at the stadium layout, so I'll be able to give you a bit more detail in regards to it. I understand that the completion date for everything is Monday. Whether or not that will happen, we shall see. But I'll keep you posted on that. But overall, at the moment, it's looking very good. And I think anyone that's bought a ticket, a season ticket in the Northern Wall, you are going to be very happy. I'm just going to say that. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
They've actually redug the pitch so it's on a slant, so the ball really goes in that goal really good.
I stood there for the Lazio friendly, so I got a prime seat for the bout between Charlie Alcaraz and the entire Lazio squad. So that was a contest. I wasn't. Was that a chairs and ladders match? I don't know. It certainly wasn't a game of football at that point. But it's a very good viewpoint, and the standing section is very, very good. So I'm sure they will be very, very happy. But there's a few other things that I'm hoping to get cleared up very, very soon. So we shall see. Watch this space, as they say. Right. Shall we move on to our opponents?
Oh, my God. I've been waiting for you to say that for about, since sort of like we walked out of Wembley.
Indeed. I've got the Leeds game off to my left. I think we might be playing football. Do you know this time last season we played 3 games already?
Mental, isn't it?
Madness. I feel robbed of games.
But also I'm less tired.
Yeah. Oh, I had a funny story to tell you before we jump onto the Newcastle thing. Funny story. It's funny to me. Not sure it's funny to anyone. But I was planning to have loads more videos done today. But the reason why there hasn't been more uploaded, and it's a strange one. I lost an SD card, a micro SD card, which had footage on it that I needed. Guess where I found it?
Where'd you find it?
The cat that is, as she's fondly known, got up on the desk, picked it up, and took it. So I thought it was on my desk, but actually it was in her bag and bed over my madness. I know, but there we go.
I mean, it does show that it's your cat that it's stealing SD cards.
Yeah, exactly.
She's learnt that from you. That from you.
Exactly.
Here's the thing: when you tell me you're going to tell me funny stories now, I do assume it's going to be you staring at Matt Letiz's legs again, which is a great story. Everyone asks Mike that next time you see him in real life, the story about him staring at Matt Letiz's legs, because I love it.
Thanks, Jack. That's perfect.
Matt, if you're watching.
I didn't even tell Matt that I was staring at his legs, but that'll be an awkward conversation later. Anyway, right, Newcastle versus Saints up at St James's Park at the weekend. Speak of the devil, here she is.
Are we going to get the first appearance?
No, she doesn't want to be handled.
Oh my God! I thought we were going to get it. I thought we were going to get the first appearance.
Then. Maybe. She's off. She's off to watch the Leeds game. We are, of course, heading up north to see Newcastle take on Southampton. And I did get a chance to chat to a few Newcastle fans already. And I think Newcastle ended last season in seventh position with
Mhm.
60 points. All in all, a pretty good season for them. Um, but this season, they appear to be a bit frustrated in the transfer market. They had a bit of issues in regards to having to shift on players before that deadline stopped. So I think they lost around a couple of players to other sides that they weren't hoping to lose effectively. And now they're in a standoff battle with Crystal Palace for Mark Gahey. So it's weird that the richest club in the world can't buy anyone. That sounds
I
strange.
I don't understand financial fair play really. I know it's in play. I know there are certain things in play. I don't get it. But
Mm,
keep in mind, how poorly, like, or how much Mike Ashley didn't spend during his tenure.
yeah,
I would have thought that they'd be clear, ready, like almost prime position to be like, listen, they've not bought anybody in 15 years, so they should be wicked to go. But I don't know. I don't really understand what happens like that. I think it is unfair considering what the other
yeah,
teams have gotten to do. But then you look at City and what might happen by the end of the season.
yeah,
They could be in real big trouble. Could be four teams that go down this year. Um, you look at it's just how Chelsea are allowed to still get to do whatever they
I
do.
don't
It
understand that. I
doesn't
don't
make any
understand that.
sense. So I get why Newcastle are frustrated because it seems really stagnant compared. You think right, richest owners, they seventh finish. Not as good as the season before, but let's get it going. But it just never. It just seems like this whole takeover hasn't been able to start, or maybe they're just so conscious about breaking the rules, or being seen to break the rules that they're just not going to go for it. Because they are.
Mm,
Let's be fair; those owners are under tight watch because they didn't want them there. The league
yeah,
didn't want them, so they're just coming down hard on them really. But it was a weird end of the season for Newcastle actually because you did think right Champions League finish, and it just sort of petered off a little bit. There is a wicked team in there. The Premier League's a lot scarier than when we last left it. There are less teams
mm,
where I'm like, this should be a close battle. I think that's because last time we were in the league, maybe we were a little bit overconfident about what we could do.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, this year you look at it, you think, oh god, it's going to be a lot harder. And Newcastle, they do look really good. You know,
yeah. Just on that point you said though, I do feel that it almost feels like we left the Premier League and we're coming back, and it feels like we're a million miles away from it. Do you know what I mean? Where effectively we went down. Of course we made some financial mistakes, but it just feels like all the clubs that remained in the Premier League, they kind of like got their act together. The likes of Everton, Forest to a certain extent. I mean, although they were flirting with relegation, but let's face it, if it wasn't for the points deductions, Luton, Burnley, and Sheffield United would have been a million miles away from it
yeah,
come the end. So it does feel like that gap between the champ because
huge.
I didn't really think it was a big gap, but now we've had a season in the championship and seeing the sort of opposition that we faced and the sort of club that we've lost to as well. I mean, there were some poor sides in the championship that ultimately, the mistakes we were making, we would have been punished so many more times, which is another subject to get onto. But it does feel that gap is getting bigger and bigger
Yeah,
because there were some yo-yo clubs that ultimately were going up and down, but you still had, it wasn't a case of the three that went up or the three that come down, which is a worry, really, isn't it?
yeah. I think it's. I think we all sort of suffer from the fact that we went down, and I think a lot of us sort of did the same thing. We're like, well, I'm not going to watch the Prem this year. Then I'm going to just watch all these teams around me and have fun being in the Championship, and which is what we did. And now coming back to it, like, right, where things left them? Well, Palace are pretty bad. Oh, Roy's gone, is he? Okay, this is looking bad. Wolves, okay. Oh, Gary O'Neill doing a wow. Okay, that's not even Bournemouth like finishing the way they did. Okay, they've now lost Solanke. Let's see where they go from there. But it is a lot harder, and that
Mm,
gap is a lot bigger. And it's almost like it used to be three teams would come up and maybe they'd be able to, at least two of them would be able to really battle for it and maybe stay up, two would slip down. Now I almost feel like it's almost like a 3-season job to get back in the league. It's like you're in you get promoted, you get knocked down, and then you have to come back again. But you have to be
yeah,
smart with the time that you're in the Premier League. I think a bit like Luton, really. You look at Luton, you think, right, they were never going to stay up. So they didn't overspend whilst they're in there. They didn't do anything crazy. They didn't go firing managers. The fact that we've given Russ that long a deal means no really matter what happens this season, he's going to be the guy. And if we go down with Russ, we're going to be going down with Russ. I kind of get that feel
I'm
with it.
convinced that will happen.
And that's what will happen. And it's about that long-term plan. And you hate to start the season thinking, well, getting relegated wouldn't be too bad. But it kind of feels, it does feel like that if you're being realistic about it. Now, that being said, Mike, this is Matchday Vlogs. And Will Smallbone's my best friend now. And it's all, and the team's happy. The vibe is still there. Don't get me wrong, that vibe is still there. And when we went to Oxford, didn't seem like it. I grant, if you went to Oxford, didn't seem like it. But if you went to Millwall,
if you went to Oxford on your birthday and dragged your entire family up in the car, why did you do that? Anyway, sorry, go on. Yeah,
if you did that, probably wasn't a great day out. Specifically, if it was your birthday and you dragged your whole family out and promised them a meal, that would not be the ideal thing to do. But when you went to Millwall, even just like down to I really do feel at Millwall that the little like being able to go outside really made a difference. Having that little area to sort of like to gather, to have a chat with people, that was really fun. And the team that you saw on the pitch, I was like, this is an exciting team. There's a lot buzzing to it. I don't, you went to the Lazio game. Beside the fight, what was the actual general vibe as you were going in?
It was good. I think the first half of that game was the best I've seen of us pre-season. I think the second half was dreadful. It's all over the place,
obviously, but
just a mess.
And I actually haven't seen a single. I think apart from the goals, I've not seen anything of the Cafe game, so I don't really know what the vibe was there. But I mean, I feel like just the energy around the club. If we can just keep bringing that, something will get through. We can make St. Mary's a fortress. If we, it sounds so stupid. If we do it on vibes alone, I think we can just squeak it out. I mean, this isn't the normal Matchday Vlog preview when I'm going to be like, we're going to finish 8th and it's going to be a great year for us. We're going to finish 17th and barely squeeze by. We might go on a few runs. We might do something fun, and you will see where we're going. It's not the finished article for us yet, and it still won't be. But until at the end of the season, what this squad can really be.
Yeah.
So it's just having those expectations and know we've only got to be better than 3 or 4 teams, and they are there. They are there. Not all those teams aren't going to be as good as they were last season, although they might have learned.
I'm kind of hoping. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that because I actually think Bournemouth are going to have a phenomenal season if they keep their squad as it is and their manager. And I think there's a few. I mean, Crystal Palace as well. Another. I mean, that manager, what he's done in such a short space of time. I think there's a few curveballs out there, like the new Brighton manager, where he's come from is it the MLS? He's come from, and he's got like not much experience. So he's either going to be amazing or abysmal. So it's either one or the other. But
do you know what it kind of feels like to me? That Brighton appointment feels like Pellegrini.
Right. Yeah.
When you had a decent run, then you've had a pure, and you're like, that wasn't great, but let's see where we go. And then it's take this chance from this guy, and then it's just going to fall apart. So I am hoping that for Brighton. Really am.
Yeah. Although I think Brighton's last manager was better than Puel. But
don't get me wrong. But then at the same time, history will look better on Puel because it was a really good finish in the league, cup final.
Yeah.
So
there's merit to boring football. Yeah,
there is merit to boring football. You're absolutely right. So they might have that little stumble off, and that's the thing. It's just a matter of we have to play our football and do the best that we can do, but we got to hope there are teams around us that fall off.
Yeah. It certainly will be tough. But back to our opponents on Saturday. I mean, Newcastle have got a lot of their players back from injury. So they'll be at full strength as far as I know. But I think
Ryan Fraser starting?
No, definitely not. Apparently, he's not even allowed in the building. He's always welcome in our building, though. Just because
apparently not. According to Russell today.
I think Newcastle want too much money then, apparently. But
I think they have to let him go. But something about Ryan wants to hit his completed contract or something like that. It probably means that those Saudi owners gave them all massive contracts when they came in because it's all happy-go-lucky. Especially Fraser coming with sort of Eddie Howe from Bournemouth up. And he's probably like, well, if I just sit this out, I've probably got, I'm made for life, really. So I want to finish this off before I go. It's the reason Hulk Hogan didn't come to the WWE in the early 2000s after WCW. He just took that contract money and sat at home.
Yeah.
It's very similar. Ryan Fraser is a lot like Hulk Hogan in the WWE.
I always wonder where you're going with those, but you come round in the end. That's absolutely fine.
I know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
I've had a Stoford, leave me alone.
I'd never question that. But Tonali, the player that got banned for, I don't know specifically what, but he's not going to be available. I believe he's going to be back for the Spurs game for them. So aside from that, we might see the likes of old Tino in their squad. But no doubt we'll be looking out for Bruno Guimaraes. I was going to say Fernandes then. I'm going to get that wrong. Bruno Guimaraes and Isaac as well, which we certainly be quite wary of. But should we have a look at what our predicted 11 will be? Should we do
that? Just before, have you got it locked in your head what you think it will be?
The back line, yes.
The back line, yes. Okay, let's get into it then. Let's hear you. Let me hear your back line. Back to the lineups, mate. Here we go.
Back to the lineups.
Preview. It's a real preview.
We're going live again. Right, here we go. Should I change the kit to what I think it's going to be? Are we going to wear the pink? Are we going to wear the yellow? Don't know where I was going with that. I think it's going to be yellow kit.
No, I think it's going to be pink.
You think it's going to be pink?
So I'm going to think it's pink because I kind of it's like remember that Spurs away? Was it the last season went down with the blue? And I think maybe because they think the yellows might clash with the white a little bit. I don't know. It's a chance to wear pink, isn't it?
I don't know. I haven't got pink. I've only got purple, and it's not close enough for me. So should I go yellow?
Go yellow. Yellows.
Go yellow, but it might well be pink. We just don't know. Let us know what you think in the comment section. And smash the like button while you're at it. Lovely stuff. Right then. Okay, so I think it's going to be Mr. McCarthy.
Lovely. Oh, okay.
Alex McCarthy.
Mate, if we go all the way up to Newcastle on a Friday and I see Alex McCarthy drop an absolute clanger, I'm going to be so upset. Upset.
Yeah. Not one to play out from the back. So I think it's going to be 3-5-2.
Go on then, Mr. Formations. Put it. Show me your plan. Show me your back line. I mean, okay. I know what it is, but my real question is, which side is Kyle Walker-Peters playing?
Oh yeah. I know. We got
Dewey and Skywalker. Yeah, that's it. Back to the old Tino days. Whap him out on the left, he'd be fine.
Yeah.
Mike's got to spell new names. Look, this will be fun. That's there you are. You're fine there.
Stevens.
Thing is, we didn't even get to do a lot of these in the championship, did we? Because there was all these midweek games. We never really got to do this last season. So it's might be some real hard ones for you.
Let us know if you've got any predicted 11s in the chat section. We'll be sure to go over those. In the middle,
Captain Jack, surely.
I've already done Captain Jack, haven't I?
Have you? Oh yeah, sorry, my bad, bud.
Federic and there we go.
Yeah, that's how that's going to look.
Get excited already.
Wowza, really, cowboy. I think the midfield. Right, I don't know what I have to think. The rest of it does pick itself when you look at it, doesn't it? Yeah. Adama. Mate, you can just put Armstrong now. He is the only one.
Oh yeah, I can't I?
We all know who we're talking about now. And in all caps, just to let them know.
that how you spell Flynn Downs? I think so.
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
That's how you spell it. If you go by the birth certificate, that's how it's spelled.
exactly.
That's it. My best friend. Sorry, Mike.
Do you know what though? Whilst we're on that, Will Smallbone is the nicest person you will ever meet, along with Jack Stevens. Actually, Jack Stevens is ridiculously humble for a professional footballer.
It was lovely. He was just like,
Yeah.
can we just braggadocio for just a little bit and talk about the Puma night? Because I don't feel like we really got to talk about how much fun we really had.
If you give me this player here that you're thinking,
It's a Rebo.
Haribo.
It was also very nice when we met him.
It was. Yeah.
Look at that. That is an absolute liner. Yeah, that'll do fine. That'll do fine.
Yeah. That's what I'm reckoning. See if they show.
Nice,
Go on in.
nice and defensive.
Flex on your
Well,
Puma
let's
night.
go. First of all, I think I need to apologise to Millie Mott. I'm pretty sure I scared her out of her wits with the excitement I got when I realised that she was walking past. It's like, oh, future captain Millie Mott. So that was taken aback. That was pretty fun. Marianne being so nice about us. That was probably the highlight of the evening. Really, that was the thing that really took me aside. The fact that, not to brag, guys, but Marianne came up to us knowing our names. And it was very lovely. And it did kind of make us feel like, wow, this is what a special thing this channel has turned out to be, huh? That Marianne Spacey's come over and been like, love the vlogs. It was amazing.
And we are hoping to do more with the women's game this season as well. There's been a lot of changes in the women's game.
It's going to be a whole new squad.
Team. Yeah,
it's going to be a whole new squad when we go. We'll watch the return of that. So I'm very excited. It's Arsenal the first game they've got.
It is. Yep. They got Arsenal on the same day as Brentford away, so we won't be at that game. But we'll be at Brentford away. But I'm hoping to have a contingency. All will be revealed soon to represent at that Arsenal friendly pre-season game. So that should be good. But bargainous tickets. I think it's £1 for a child.
Go watch the women's team. If you're not doing it, go do it because it's great. The atmosphere is always dead fun. But yeah, Smallbone was just an absolute gentleman, wasn't he? He spent a long time talking with us when could have easily walked away. He was there. He was just the boy, really. And it was a weird moment talking to the guy that you've had on the back of your away shirt all season. A guy who I have literally built FIFA squads around. Back in the day, I took Plymouth up, put him in the centre. Eventually went to Madrid. I won the Champions League with Smallbone. I've centered it all around that man. And they just be stood there with him being like, how about that assist then? How about that goal against West Brom? Wembley, eh? Bloody hell. It was amazing. I also spoke hair products with Russell Martin, and I'm not giving away any secrets.
You did. We had a nice chat with Charlie Alcaraz as well. And I said to him how much I loved that Plymouth goal. And even then, he apologised for that penalty miss. And I can't remember even which game it was. Was that the Sheffield Wednesday game? We missed a penalty. Yeah. It's so funny. I was like, I'm sorry for the penalty miss. I was like, okay.
Love it. And that
pretty
alone
sure we smashed it.
That alone lets you know Charlie's a boy. The funniest part of the night was, without a doubt, the curtain falling down and Suleimana's face looking like a smacked bottom. It was hilarious. It was just something so funny about it. Like, whether he wants to be here or not, I don't know. But he really did look like he did not want to be stood behind that curtain. So it was pretty funny.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely, that's a fun one. It was a fun night, and thank you so much to Puma and the club for putting on that event.
Yeah. Very lucky. We do appreciate it very much.
Yeah, no, it's a great thing to do. It was the Blackburn he missed. Oh, yeah. Blackburn. Was it Blackburn? Yeah, it was Blackburn. I think so. Yeah. We'll go with you. So, yeah, I think, as far as I can see in the chat section, I think pretty much everyone's... Let's see what Andy's put in here. Yeah, that looks pretty much exactly what we've put in. Yes, I think he was. Yep, exactly. There was only so many places on the table at McDonald's and on those little, the old school. It's probably before your time, Jack, when they had it. Anyway,
When you spoke down the wow and it spoke back, that was good times.
yeah, it was
Good
good
times.
times. That's right. It was the Benenka one in Blaisbath. I remember that. There we go. There we go. So yeah, I think everyone's in pretty much agreement with this predicted 11. Yeah, can't see anyone screaming out. No, you're wrong.
Charlie for Ariba. I did see a few lineups on Twitter which kind of reverted back to the 4 at the back and then having Armstrong on one wing, Brent Diaz on the other wing, and Charlie in the middle. That's all.
Yeah.
But for me, this is what we need to be going with because, guys, when you see it properly, Smallbone is going to bag goals in this system because his runs into the box are fantastic. He will really eat up that space. So we might not have the hold-up play that we want, but we'll work the wings and he will find his way into those spots. So yeah, for me, this is kind of how we need to be starting. Who knows how it's going to look at the end of the window, but for me, this is definitely the strongest lineup.
Yeah. How many double barrel names we got in the Zoom again? Oh yeah, Ben Brereton Diaz.
Harwood Bellis. Walker Peters. We're better than we used to be. Better than it used to be.
Yeah. Fliniesta Downs. Oh, I just made that one up, haven't I? That's not actually a real one. But yeah.
Do you think we're going to see an appearance from Dibbling in this game or Sam Amoeo? Because they were both wicked pre-season.
I think they'll be on the bench. Whether or not, I don't think they'll start.
I mean, I don't think we don't have the attacking options for them not to be on the bench. Let's be fair, but I just think if the game's looking, somehow the game's looking all right towards let's get them out there. Let's get them out there because they will just. I don't think people are ready, especially for the first few games. No one's ever really ready for the youngsters to go out there and do an absolute performance. And you could just see Dibbling just busting through the defense. Just like same like that run against the multiple runs against Millwall. He just gets that ball and just runs with it. Wicked.
It was very good, very, very, very good. And I think we will see him feature this season. I mean, he definitely looked like he had confidence. In all the appearances he came on, he hit the bar against Millwall, but generally being a nuisance in midfield, which aside from what Charlie Alcaraz did with his fists, we haven't really seen that much of attacking midfielders doing that. So I think it's quite likely. Newcastle, so I'm going to bring this we're happy on the 11th, so I'm just going to remove that so you can see our faces back again. I have heard that Newcastle are going to be without Shah. Is it Shah?
Yeah.
So injured in pre-season. So I think that perhaps could be an area where we could exploit them. And I did hear that they were susceptible to 1 or 2 set pieces last season. And also Ben Brereton Diaz has undone them last season when he played them at Sheffield, or at home against Sheffield United. So they're not unbreachable. No. And not to give too much away, but the score prediction I had from the Newcastle fan earlier predicts us to score, which I'm not sure if they saw any of our preseason games, but I don't know. That's my one area of concern, is the fact that, okay, fine, if we play 3 centre-backs and play with wing-backs, but can we score? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Is that going to be an issue for us?
Yeah, defensively, like, you can look at that squad minus McCarthy. You can look at that back line and with Downs, including that, that will be the strongest defense that we will have this season, because we also don't know about Kyle. Get to it in a bit, but I got a feeling he's staying. But I look at that and think, right, that's the strongest defense we can have this season is this lineup. So I think, and they all know each other, minus Sugawara, but I think Sugawara, where he has that cover from Jack Stevens on that side, and he's probably got the strongest of
his delivery's good as well.
His delivery's fine. I do think corners we might get a bit more from corners this season.
Yeah, corners and free kicks.
Yeah, hopefully, because we're going to need it. We're going to need that. Those are the kind of goals we're going to really be relying on. So, hopefully, someone's got a long throw. I'm pretty sure Taylor Harwood-Bellis does, and one of them's got a long throw. Pretty sure of it. So, utilize that, please. Tall Paul needs to stay for this very reason.
Yeah.
He's going to be our workhorse, mate. Just throw him on. 10 minutes to go.
There might be something, but looking at those, I mean, you say about Kyle Walker-Peters might stay. There is a part of me that's a little bit worried about this whole situation, because if you have a situation where you've got effectively Shea Adams left on a free, ran down his contract, we didn't get any money from him. If Kyle Walker-Peters does the same, so I got my cat. Look, cat's in shot. You see that?
Oh my God, she's here. See you later.
She does what she wants. She does what I was wondering what that noise was. It's just like.
Cat.
Sorry, everyone. Anyway, where was I? If we're in a situation where Kyle Walker-Peters runs down his contract, effectively we're saying goodbye to 20 million quid.
How much is it worth if he stays and we stay up because of that position? It's the same as I feel with Shea. Like,
But that's slightly different because you've got. Are you going to get? You're going to get promoted and lose 10 million from potentially not selling Shea Adams, or 4 million quid. Say for instance, he went to Wolves in January for 4 million. Okay, and we didn't get promoted, or we did get promoted. Either way, but if we go through a situation where, worst case scenario, this is so not on brand, but I'm going to say worst case scenario. We've just signed Flynn Downs. We just signed Teo Harwood-Bellis. It's best part of 50 million quid. We then lose Kyle Walker-Peters on a free. We don't remain in the Premier League.
I mean,
what that does to the finances.
You mean you're not wrong, but then you then get the wages off the books, where he's probably one of the highest anyway. So you have that plus other things. But it's like, in my mind, like, you've already got a really I think Sugawara is going to be an amazing player, and I think there's he'll be the starting right back if they're both fit. Sugawara will stay starting back, and Cole Walker will play the left because we know he can do both. But he's worth it for this season because the stay up, that 17th spot. I know it's that funny thing of, like, the championship is the highest. It's we're in the playoff final, the most expensive cup there is. But surely that 17th in the Premier League is probably a little bit more than that. And to have that player locked down for one more season, it's that thing I would happily be like, he stayed with us going down.
Mm-hmm.
He got us
Which
back
he
up.
should be. That should be mentioned.
And then I just look at the teams around him. Who's going to pay 20 mil? Well, not West Ham now, because they just bought Wan-Bissaka. That's all done.
Yeah.
You're hearing stuff about Tottenham, and you're like, does that Tottenham start? I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's a bit like more Prowse again. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't think he makes it in, like, or one of those top 4-6 teams would go for him because he's still technically a relegated championship player.
Mm-hmm.
I think the teams that would be looking at him for like 420 mil would be, sounds bad to say it now, but Palace, Bournemouth, those mid-table teams, and he'd probably get that a lot easier next summer. Is that still definitely be on the table for him next summer, no matter what happens? I just think finances, it doesn't make too much of a difference to us because the contract will be done anyway.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean,
he's been offered a new deal, so you never know.
Yeah, and that, whether a player signs a new deal, ultimately it sort of gives price protection to the club that owns him. So, I in a perfect world, he signs a new deal, but ultimately, is that within his interest to do so? If it restricts the move away that he's potentially looking for. So, I mean, someone makes a point, just put a buyout clause in there, but where he is at his contract stage, because I thought he had 2 years left, but apparently it's only 1 year left.
It's next summer.
So, what kind of contract can you do that gives you a buyout clause for a player that's into his final years? I don't know how that will work, and whether or not.
Well, it'll have relegation clauses in it and stuff. So if you go down, it'll be this fee. That's that sort of thing. Mate, this isn't the channel to get into this technical side. This is just down to pure emotion and gut. And would you rather have Kyle Walker-Peters this season or not have him this season?
Yes, end of story.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. We want Kyle, and Russ would like Kyle. Even Russ has said, if we can just have him for that one more season, that's fine. But we're a better team with him than without him.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
And who are you going to get that's better than him for the money? You're just not. He is the best player in the squad, probably. If we had to really hands down it, who's the best player in that squad? Is Kyle Walker-Peters.
Yeah. No, that's very true. That's very true, and certainly, he's a player that we can use very well. Ultimately, when funds have been put into, well, no funds have been put into Charlie Taylor because he came in on a free. Sugawara seems to be coming on a good deal, so I guess we're winning in that area. It's just these expensive attacking midfielders that are off the cards. But I guess just sticking with Charlie Alcaraz, if he can keep his hands in his pockets and not fling them around at but
I
Jack
think they
Stevens
love that
says
though.
they did, but Jack Stevens is a fan forum saying if one of us is in a fight, we're all in a fight. And I particularly admired that question afterwards. Said, "What have we practiced getting used to playing with 10 men?" Which I thought was a fun one to
But
do.
there is a. But I think Russell at the fan forum said, when you watch our style of play, it's not rugged, tough football. It doesn't look like that, but you have to let the teams know that there is that side to us that we can get rough and
Yeah, we're
Charlie's the
not
man for that.
nice.
We're
We're
not
not
nice.
nice. No,
We are.
we are. Yeah, absolutely. Always nice and
Personally, me and
welcoming.
you are lovely.
Yeah, but we don't have to play professional football. At
Affable
least not
fellas,
anymore.
I'd say.
The world of football has changed very much in terms of me and Dan Dark Alleys, and now you're speaking to him on podcasts. It's very fun. Never got involved with the other stuff, by the way. But anyway, have you heard about the ABK possible heart? I have. And this is an incredibly difficult situation. And ultimately, I do feel for the player's health in this situation because that is absolutely awful. Because what is he now? 22? Is he 22?
Yeah.
Which I mean, it puts the club in a very difficult position. But ultimately, this is someone's livelihood that ultimately is, all up in the air. But I sincerely hope that the club will do what's in the best interest for the player, as well as looking at the club situation. But thoughts do go out to Amal Bella Kopchak and the family, and I sincerely hope it's something that can be resolved. And he's not sidelined really. So that's a very difficult situation. Charlie's punch was right to do, and Russell Martin loves it.
He did. He did.
Yeah, he enjoyed it a little bit. Yeah, but it was crap by the neck. I don't think anyone. It was.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like Charlie was right to do it. Like, you get why. It's like you can be upset that he did it, but
Yeah.
put your hands on his neck and see what happens.
Exactly, but it was weird to do it in a friendly. But last year we're dirty. Yeah, they were ridiculous.
To be fair, I will say that hot-headedness is why I don't want him to start against Newcastle. Because I feel like that. You remember the games against Newcastle last, and for some reason there was some sort of rivalry.
Yeah,
I can't really remember as to why that was, but there was the wave, which is now in their video. Have you seen their then you yeah? So it's Newcastle legend now. So they're trying to do something like that again, and to have Charlie on the pitch doing that, yeah, maybe not the best idea.
Yeah. Mr. Mystery is saying, if Garl goes, I'll be extremely sad, even more than James Ward-Prowse. Wow. Quite something. Before we get into our score predictions, because I've just remembered we haven't done that yet, and we should be doing that. Paradox saying, is it Sugawara or Sugawara? Jack, do you have any feelings on this?
I change it every time I say it. Keep everybody guessing.
Sugawara.
I'm pretty sure
Sugawara?
it's sugar. It's Sugawara.
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 Sugawara. Okay.
That's how we say it until Adam Blackmore corrects us. But then again, apparently no one's listening to Blackmore now either. So we say it how Martin says it.
It's going to be one of those broja. That's not. 100% not sugar. Okay,
it's not.
Sugar.
It's sugar.
Do it again.
Sugar.
One more time. I'm recording your stream on a special high definition thing, so I'm going to love downloading that later. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, you can just keep doing it. Japanese doesn't really have a shush sound. I've known enough Japanese people to know that they do shush me. So everybody does eventually.
Oh dear. I just got him Yuki. Yeah, Yuki.
Yeah.
We can all do that. Lovely
Either
stuff.
way, either way, I know I'm gonna love him. I know it.
Indeed.
I even just some of the behind the scenes content. I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy you. You're gonna be a good time. You're fun.
Right, should we get on to the score prediction?
Let's do it.
Right, we got 63 people in the room right now who are poised, ready to put their score predictions in the chat session. So please do so. Let us know what you think the score's going to be on Saturday, whilst me and Jack go through what we think the score's going to be, and we'll be sure to read out all of them because I think I can do 60 something score predictions right after we've given ours. Right, Jack. This is really hard because it's a hard away game and I have to back my team even though my heart is fearful. With that in mind, do you want to go first?
Start the season, mate. Should we write it down and do it at the same time? Is that a possibility? You got something to write it down on? Oh,
Maybe.
no. We should have thought about this before we came on.
Oh, I do. I do.
Oh, my God, he does. Because luckily, so do I.
I do.
Right.
Do you know what it is? It's a piece of tat from TikTok Shop, everyone.
Yes.
Have you thought you want more tat in your life and you want to know how to support the channel? You do? Okay, well, head on over to our TikTok Shop. There's plenty of stuff from the Temu stuff lodged into there. So knock yourselves out. I think this was £1.50, maybe not even that. 79 pence. I don't know.
I'm amazed you're selling that, but not the amazing T-shirt that's Jack Stevens wanted to buy from you.
Is that going to show up? Barely.
Oh, yeah, barely.
Barely. Okay.
Barely. Right. I've got mine.
Magic.
Magic.
You got yours.
Yeah, I've got mine, and I've done it properly. Usually, I would just say Southampton. Like, this isn't my. Usually, I would say 6-0, and it would be Southampton.
Okay.
But this, I've got the correct. So it is, right way round. How it would look on the day.
I just sort of thought to write something, and you're going to get upset if I write it.
If you put a draw, I'm just going to switch off and not come to Newcastle. That's how seriously I take it.
Okay, fine. I'm going to do it in bold, so you'll be able to see it.
Could you imagine if we were one of those boring channels that like tallies this? Like,
yeah,
awful. No one really wants that. Say 6-0, have some fun.
exactly. I'm doing it in
You
bold.
colouring it in?
Well, I'm doing it in bold because if I do it single line, you won't be able to see it, will you?
Yeah, true.
So Oh no, I've done it the wrong way around as well.
Oh yeah, Mike, that's a good point. Do you still do you still do the arm motion things? Can you do the fireworks again? Is that still this laptop? Is that still available?
Yeah,
we're back, baby.
That'll give me time just to start this again.
It's just be a piece of art that you show me.
I've drawn a tiger. That's what I've done. Can you guess what it is yet?
Kinky swall is it?
Actually, he was. Yeah, that's not a good one to bring up, is it?
Yeah, maybe not. Don't do that one. Don't do that one, Mike, my friend. He's really taking his time on this. Making sure we can all see it.
It's in green as well. God, that looks quite good, actually. I'm quite pleased with that.
Mike has now found his new art project. He writes score predictions down for games that don't exist.
Yeah. From Tat, we bought on the Matchday Vlogs TikTok Shop. For every one of these, I get a 2 pence commission. So feel free to find it. It's in green as well, so it might be see-through.
That'd be funny.
Right. Are we doing it? What are we doing? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, and then show.
So 3, 2, 1, or 3, 2, 1, go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Go on then. Count me down.
3, 2, 1, go. Oh, look, mine's see-through. No, weird.
That is fun. Yeah, I'm going. This, my friend, is going to be our repeat of the Spurs game. This is going to be fun to the max, where we are just praying VAR is going to work for us. Oh my god, VAR! But it's going to be the fun one. It's going to be worth the trip.
It's going to be a fun one. I just think. I mean, I know a lot of Newcastle fans out there are going to say 3-0 Newcastle. They're going to be like 3-0 Newcastle or 3-1 Newcastle or something like that. But I just think if we're starting with 3 centre-backs, it will mean that we will effectively be parking the bus in a way.
In a way.
You know when we played West Brom and they had all those kind of... am I really comparing West Brom to Newcastle United? I guess I just did. But yeah, no, I think we might be able to do something there. But just whether or not we can score. So there we go. Jack's going to go with... Let me put these up so we can actually see.
Can I get your goal scorers?
Can you get my goal scorers?
Yeah,
I'm going to go Brereton Diaz for both of ours, Isaac for theirs.
Nice. Respectable.
I just think you can do a job. See, we're back, everyone. We're both predicting a win away at Newcastle on the opening day of the Premier League season.
It'll never change.
You thought we were gone forever.
We're going to win the league.
Right, here we go. Oh, there's plenty in here. Right. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Be sure to smash that like as soon as you put in your score prediction as well. Let me see where we're going. Where we're starting from. Was Jack the first? Jack was the first by the looks of it. Okay, right, here we go. Jack is with me. He's going for a 2-1 Saints win. Dave Overton is going for a 2-2. Josh Blackmore, no relation to Adam. We've had this conversation before. Last minute bicycle kick equaliser from Ben Brereton Diaz. Cool, wouldn't that be a thing to see? This was a score that I nearly put in. But I was never going to put in a draw. Was I, Jack? Ever going to do that?
No, not allowed to do that.
Lukey's going for a 1-0 Saints win with Diaz to score. WTR's going for a 3-1 Newcastle, unfortunately. I know many people will be going with that. Urban's going for a surprise 2-1 win. Alpha's going for a 4-0 Saints, because why not? Absolutely, because why not? Paradox going for a 2-1 Newcastle, but I think we have a good showing of ourselves. Doesn't break the season if we lose. This is a free hit. Yeah, don't necessarily disagree with that one. Chris is going for a 2-2. Share of the spoils. Mr. Mystery's got to be 4-0 Saints win, Jack.
Yeah.
I guess that might be a prediction of what you were going to put. Alpha's putting in his scorers: Armour, Aribo, Ben Brereton, Diaz, and Yanni B. Do you remember when every time Yanni B scored, we lost 3-2?
Let's not talk about that. Let's not bring that up.
Okay.
That was a different Yanni B. That was pre-Villa Yanni B. That's a different player.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Really hoping to draw 1-1, but I think we may lose 3-0. Seems like quite an educated guess there, Pete, if I'm honest. Andy's going for Newcastle 1. Isaac in the 53rd minute. This is very specific, right? Saints 2, Brereton Diaz 85, and Armour 90. God, that would make for some epic content. So I certainly hope on that. I think this is Andy's suggestion for you to put a bet on Jack, but bet responsibly, everyone. This is.
Here's my worry of that scoreline. I would love that. That'd be amazing if that the way it happened. If you see where Mike's made us stand/sit, and you're aware of how Mike celebrates goals, I am a little bit worried about falling to my death.
Yeah, it's a long way down as well.
It's a long way down. It's a long way down. Yeah. A nice season 30, it would look good on the graveside, but I don't really fancy.
I think you'd be all right. It'd be me that would have gone, because I would have gone over you.
I think regardless of which one of us goes, we need to ensure that it doesn't happen in Newcastle when we get as far south.
Conversations with Jack and Mike. Anyway, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, but in this, Southampton win the opening game of the season.
It's a win-win.
And then they win the league in our memory.
Exactly.
Worth it.
I was going to say something really dark there, but I'll get into a lot of trouble if I do. Right, let's move on. Adrian, let's see when the mortgage being paid off. Adrian Pascal Murray is going for a 1-1, but highest hoping 2-1 away win for Saints. I'm just going to get in trouble for that one anyway. Right. Praying we keep tight. Oh, I need to put it up first so everyone can read it. It's First live show of the season. What can I say? Premier keep it tight, but I can't, in good faith, say anything over 3-1 to Newcastle. Venom's also going for 3-1 Newcastle. McCarthy drops a stinker. Diaz with the goal. Joseph's going for 3-2 Saints with you, Joe. Diaz, Armour, and Charlie. Delgo at 86. Welcome back. A respectable 2-1 loss. Ben Brereton, Diaz to score. Do you know, just on this, if we score away at Newcastle, this sounds such a low bar to have, but it's almost a win in itself, isn't it? Answer that afterwards. No arm motions tonight, creating special effects, Mike. Oh, well, you were reading that out earlier. Cool. Joe, member of the channel, thanks so much for the support. 1-0 Armstrong will be defensively side. I got a weird feeling about that as well. DC Joe Nelson, dang, got on the stream late. Good to see everyone. Yeah, good to see you too, man. Welcome to the show. Let us know what time it is where you are right now. DC was gonna be, what's that, 5 hours behind? 6 hours behind? Let us know. I think. Oh, local Southampton lads. Got one here. Didn't miss any of the others. 2-1. Ben Brereton Diaz, and you could score with Alcaraz booked. Or sent off again, a bit aggressive. For say with Jacob Murphy. Yeah, absolutely. Jacob Murphy doing this and then get a right hook to the face. That'd be quite something.
That's it. Mike's finally talking like me. Yeah. Hit him, Charlie.
Yes, VAR's back. Yeah, not looking forward to that. If we score 3 goals, would be a miracle. Sigatulli is going for a 1-1. Change my mind. You're making me think we're going to smash it. 2-0 us. Way. Welcome to the show. Lukey's going for a 1-0 Saints. And here we go. DC's got his score prediction in. Here we go. It's going 1-1. Kyle Walker Peters scores on a cut-in. There we go.
Love that. But I don't love the score line. Get off the fence. Joe, I love having you here, mate. It's really good to see you. Thanks for coming. I know you're a bit late, but
do something like that.
Don't sit on the fence here.
There we go. That is effectively what you're saying with a bit more Matchday Vlogs brand rubbed into it. There we go.
Yeah.
That's what you say. That's what you're saying. Scoring away at Newcastle. Love that. Love that. There we go. Right. That is effectively all the elements of the show. Was there anything in particular that we haven't addressed that we should be addressing? Let us know in the chat section as well if there's something.
Should we do a little bit of transfer talk, seeing as that's what everyone's upset about?
I suppose we should. Yeah. I mean, it's not good news, everyone. If I'm honest, it doesn't look good at all. Matt O'Reilly looks like it's off the cards. And if we haven't got enough money to do those kind of things, I don't think Aaron Ramsdale's going to come anywhere near us. Yeah, the only thing I can think I can see happening is something closer to the end of the window when everyone's a bit desperate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, when people want to offload, it's difficult because it's clear the position that we're in. I mean, I think it was. I put up a tweet earlier on saying that, I think it was whilst we were abroad, Russell was said, like, by the Newcastle game, we're going to have at least a couple more players in by the time the season starts. So then we'll see at the end. And that those two players were probably Wee Man and O'Reilly. Those are probably the two players that we want anything in today. Neither of those are happening. And with the Bella Kopchik news, and my honest belief that I don't think Kyle Walker Peters goes. You're then looking at who could leave to make way, and it's like Tool Pool, but we're not getting. We seem to be very. There's only one team that wants him, and at this point now, I don't want to sell to them. So that is what it is. But I still think there's a little bit of budgetary in there, and I think it's just going to determine right. You can either have 2 or 3 players that would be squad players and boost kind of what you've got. Or you've got enough for one thing. Mm-hmm. One thing and maybe one other very, very cheap thing. So what is it you want?
What are we desperate for? What ultimately, what have we not got?
Striker, goalkeeper.
Yeah. If you had to pick one.
Striker.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
because I honestly feel that Macca's not good on his feet. He was going to make mistakes, but the backline in front of him is the best backline that Macca's probably had in front of him in a long time. And
Yeah.
on top of that, have the bottle to do it because Stevens and Bednarak could have been in front of him 3 or 4 seasons ago, but this version of Bednarak and Stevens have not been in front of him. And then with Harla-Bellis as well, like Southampton goalkeeper has had a good front line on them for a while, apart from last season, and Baz still let a lot in.
Mm-hmm.
It feels odd not talking about Baz at all, but we're not going to see him for so long. It's
No.
but
January?
January plus. But I've seen a lot about Sam Johnson today, and Sam Johnson has officially lost his number 1 shirt, like officially. So I think he's definitely looking on the way out, and I think that'll be only 10 mil, give or take. So that might not be a bad one. I think Ramsdale on loan still might still be a possibility. It's just those wages, how much you can split them, but it not great. But it is that striker. But that's the hardest one, mate. Name me a single striker that would fit what you want. That it's not. It's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be a bit of a Graziano Pelle where it's like, who's this guy? Oh, he's this guy. He's one of these guys. Class. Like he's gonna have to be an out of nowhere one.
Yeah.
So,
the problem that we got though is anyone like that you're looking at from overseas, there'll be a Premier League tax. Where effectively, you're going to play in the Premier League, or suddenly a £6 million player is a £12 million player. It's a bit like you buy a cake for an event, you buy a cake for a wedding, it's twice the price. It just has that premium with it. So, but that said, even though you'll then be looking at strikers in the Championship, thinking, could they cut it in the Premier League? You look at Sammy Smodics. Would you then also look at Danny Ings later towards the end of the window? I think it was probably up to Danny, if I'm honest.
That's the thing with the whole Danny. Like the Danny Ings one just bothers me so much because in reality, it probably wouldn't be like it's not ideal of what we want, and he's not the player that he was when he left here. But it's going to get to a point where it's probably be like, well, that's better than no striker again. But he's already said no. He doesn't want to come here, so we just kind of got to forget that. Unless the only way I will, Danny Ings will be the one for me is after he's already joined and scored about 9 goals.
Mm-hmm.
9 goals in the first half of the season, by the way. I won't be having 9 goals across the whole. We need a striker who is a 10-plus goal striker this season. We need someone that's close to 50. We need one of those. We need our own little Ollie Watkins. That's what we need.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And that player is Tyler Diblin.
Yeah. Yes. Well, in midfield, certainly. But you do bring up an excellent point in regards to who is actually available. That is
who do you want?
I've seen a few comments here. Did that Makuku deal go through?
It didn't go through. It fell through, hasn't it? So that again, that might be something on the cards, but
yeah,
because that was less than 20 that was going to go through for, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's a lot on a
so maybe
unknown striker, certainly in the Premier League. No disrespect, he's not an unknown striker, but what I'm saying is he's not playing the Premier League. I mean, you look at who's it that went to Chelsea that was linked with us and Bournemouth but failed a medical. Who am I thinking of?
No idea. I already know what you're talking about. Because you already know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Striker went to. Can anyone know how we out in the chat section? It's normally do. Striker that went to Jackson. Yes, Nicholas Jackson. Ooh. Good shout. What would I do with that, you guys? Seriously, it's like Google on tap. Shout out there for Nicholas Jackson. Yep, everyone's right hand on there. My guys, check that out. Sammy Smodics, would you take a punt on that?
I don't have much of an opinion on it. And that is again the other thing about this. People will throw names out there. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend I've watched his highlight reel. Have you?
Well, I saw him play plenty of games in the Championship. I mean, Sammy Smodics to me would be a bit like us looking at Adam Armstrong again. Do you know what I mean? Someone who absolutely crushing it in the Championship. What can they do in the Premier League? So, I just think we need a big physical presence up front. And people are going to say, that's tall Paul. But,
But maybe it is Toolpool, huh? You don't know
Maybe
it's
it
not
is.
Toolpool.
Maybe it is. Ex Blackburn front three, yeah. If you had the whole lot. So
Get Shearer back. Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah.
Shearer, get Tim Flowers back. Why not? Let's just go.
Sherwood.
Yeah.
Get them all in there.
I'm sure there's plenty of options. Plenty of
Sheringham.
options out there. Good stuff. Will be called Southend. We signed Sally. Yeah. They'll be like, guys, seriously, chill out, right? Chill out. It's a bit needy. It's a bit needy. Why'd you do that? But there we go. Well, we will certainly be keeping an eye on all the transfers going on and giving you as best up to date as we possibly can. I know there's also the EFL Cup draw happening later on this evening that we're not too far away from. That I might jump on TikTok Live if anyone wants to join for that draw there. Depending on what else I have forgotten about, but we shall see. So we didn't mention Ross Stewart.
Is he walking yet? Is he allowed?
Well, he's yeah. We haven't even mentioned him, have we? But he's effectively
There.
he's
Did,
there.
did,
Yeah,
did he play a minute pre-season?
yep. He looked really good on the moment when he came on against West Brom away. That did look good.
Yeah, that minute. Great.
That hot minute.
Right, mate.
Hot minute.
Just get it sorted, would you?
Yeah, absolutely. Does anyone know what time the draw is? EFL draw, because it's after this game, isn't it?
I would assume straight after the game.
The
And don't
league is
forget the
currently
Fantasy
leading.
Premier League, which there is a Matchday Vlogs League. So if you guys want the login for that, just message the Instagram. That's probably the easiest way. I'll put a post up sooner or later again.
Yes,
Join the
definitely
league.
go for that.
Mike still needs to make a team, but I think you're more thinking about the pun for the team name, right?
Yeah, it's going to take me lots of time to do that. Lots and
Maybe
lots
to
of
the end
time
of the
to do
season.
it. Yeah, maybe.
I've gone for
But
the small bone tomahawks.
all-
Pretty good, right?
I love it. Another thing I did mention at the start show, we are going to be doing a Matchday Vlog live show. We're going to do it, and it will be tomorrow. No, it's not. I'll do it tomorrow. We'll be doing it in the
Newcastle this
international.
weekend. Come find us.
Yeah, we'll be doing it at some point in the international break, probably pretty soon after the Brentford game. Just so we know one, what's happened after the transfer window shut, and two, we've seen a few games of Rust Ball in the Premier League, so I think it would just give us a good insight into doing that. So if you want to be part of the live event, you can contact us at matchdayvlogs@btinternet.com, or just message us, DM us on some of the channels as well. We'll be sure to keep you posted. I don't know exact dates. I don't know exact formats as yet. We have a rough idea, don't we, Jack, in terms of
Yeah.
of what we want to do. So
Still the same venue we're thinking of. Don't give it away, but still the same venue you're thinking of.
yes, because it gives us a few more platforms to do other things. So all
it's
will be
local.
revealed, and it would be certainly a great thing to get a few more things going on there. We're also going to be doing more content pre-game as well. I understand the club is setting up a little bar on the corner of the Itchen North, known fondly as the Dell, where we'll be setting up camp before the game. So it'd be great to catch up with fellow Saints fans before the game, to see how they're feeling ahead of the tie, and then also after the game as well. So let's hope it's tears of joy and not sorrow that will be joining us for. But no, we certainly want to try and do this, as it will be the biggest, most ambitious season for Matchday Vlogs. Whichever way I look at it, it's going to be absolutely mad, and I'm looking forward to having everyone along for the ride. It's going to be fun.
Can't wait. I can't wait to see what you've got in planned.
Can't wait.
What I'm going to be forced to do.
We're doing full kit away at Newcastle. No, we don't do that. No, it's going to be fine. Excellent stuff. Well, as always, thanks so much to everyone who's joined us live. If you are watching this on replay, be sure to stick in your thoughts in the comment section. We can keep the conversation going. Let us know also if you're heading up to Newcastle. We'll be doing plenty of content before and after the game. We're there all weekend, effectively. And if you do happen to be out on Friday night, be sure to DM us, because we will be shooting stuff done on that as well. But all it leaves me to say is the famous words of, as always, remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And me and Jack will see you in the next one. All right, see ya.